Hi everyone, and welcome to day 14. We are almost at the end of taming our chaos. So I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you have found some good nuggets of advice in this, some encouragement, some arrows pointing toward a deeper faith in God. And I'm excited to talk about today's topic, which is called Take a Step and a Breath. And this was a really interesting chapter for me to write in the book. Well, first, let me start with our deposits and withdrawals. So our deposit for our energy accounts today is breathing in life as it comes, and our withdrawal is fighting God every step of the way. So I wrote this chapter after my first initial knee surgery, which was a really ironic time to be writing this because I literally felt like I could not breathe from the weight of everything that was piling up on me. And little did I know it was going to get even worse. We'll talk about that. But anyway, and then I couldn't walk. I mean, I really was about as still as I could possibly be. And I did feel God calling me to be still, but I had no idea that this is what he had in mind and that he was actually going to make me more still even yet. So I went in for what I thought was going to be a meniscus tear. I've had knee pain for, 20 plus years. It's been a long time. And so I thought I had a meniscus tear. That's what I was diagnosed with. I go into surgery and I wake up and the surgeon is looking at me like, and I'm like, oh, no surgeon should ever make that face after you come out of surgery. So I'm groggy and I'm kind of coming to, and I'm like, so what's going on? And she's like, yeah, so I got in there and the good news is your meniscus is great. And I'm like, well, it should be, that's what you're operating on. And she's like, yeah, I know about that. So it was fine. It was actually a piece of cartilage that had floated in front of the film, apparently. And long story short, what was supposed to be a couple-week recovery time turned into a full 2 months of non-weight bearing because they proceeded to do 2 microfractures, which is when they drill into the bone and hope that the bone marrow comes through and creates new cartilage, and then it kind of buys you some time before you need another or an actual knee replacement. So all that to say, I had that done. I got through that 8 weeks. That was last May. Then 7-ish weeks went by. I still was not getting any better. I went and got a second opinion. Sure enough, the surgery had actually caused further complications. So I had to have a second knee surgery 2 days before Christmas, where I had a, sorry if you're queasy, don't listen to this part, but a cadaver cartilage implanted in my knee. And then they drilled into my hip and took my bone marrow from my hip, spun it down to my stem cells, injected that into my knee. And I'm happy to say that all went great. But so that was December, then early January, like 2 weeks later, I ended up with COVID, and double pneumonia and a TIA. So I'm like, oh God, like literally, God, why? Why is this happening? How much more could you possibly pile on me? I don't know that I can take any of this. But the great thing was it brought me to a point where I was so still, and I had to take a deep breath, and I had to take a step forward in faith because I couldn't do it any other way. There was nothing left, guys. I had nothing left in myself, and this was do or die. It was God and God alone, and I trusted him. And you know what's crazy about all of this is I would not change a thing. As hard as it was, as traumatizing as it was traumatizing. I still cry. Ask my husband. I cry all the time about some of this stuff because it is traumatizing. But I have faith that God is using this for a reason. And what's really cool, guys, is that when you think about it, gold is refined in fire. It's not gold. It's not worth what it's worth until it is refined. So if you are going through a challenge, if you are going through a trial, if you are going through something that is so hard and heartbreaking, it is refining you. It is refining you. It is making you better. It is bringing you closer and closer to your faith in Christ. And I just hope that, I know it's so hard to see it that way in the midst of it, guys, and I struggle to see it too, but I hope that you can see that truth and that you can use that as some encouragement in the middle of whatever you're going through. So let's end with our insight and actions. Think of a trial that you've endured in the past, something that you've gone through that you are now past it, or at least have come through the darkest part of it. And list 3 positive things that have come out of that one tough time in your life. And really focus on the 3 lessons or blessings, or both, that have resulted from you having to go through something so terrible. I really hope this is uplifting for you guys today. I thank you again for your time, and I will see you tomorrow for our final day of Taming the Chaos. Bye.